All right, what's up, guys? Tanner Larson here, along with my business partner, Matthew Stafford. We are going to do something kind of fun today that we have not done before, okay? So first of all, this is our first time broadcasting from Zoom through the Zoom platform onto Facebook Live. So we're hoping this is working right now. We ran a test a couple times and it worked, but first time you go live with something like this, we don't know, right? So we got Christina over here making sure she can hear us. We are good, okay? And the link will be getting shared. If you see this and you're on this and you think it's good stuff, please share it. Go ahead and just share it to somebody else and let them see it, because we're going to be going through some cool stuff. Now, what we're actually going to do today, again, like we said, is something we haven't done before, and we are going to, we call it roasting, but actually we're critiquing very popular, actually the #1 store on Shopify. It's doing, I don't know, 20, 30 million a year, something like that?
No, more than that.
More than that?
200.
200 million.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit different than 20 million. So they're doing quite well, right? And you guys will know who it is in a second. But the thing is, it's broken, like crazy, crazy broken. And you know what Matt and I do at Build, Grow, Scale is we're kind of the 800-pound gorilla when it comes to Shopify and e-com optimization. We're actually rated as some of the top e-com optimization experts in the world. And the sites that we work with are, marquee sites, Fortune 100, big companies. And we take their sites from where they're at and we take them into, high 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% conversions, huge AOVs, things like that. So we do this, that's all we do. Like every single day is we're optimizing sites. We're running 30 to 40 split tests a day across a network of over a dozen sites with millions of dollars a day in ad spend. We have 300 plus hours a week of CRO going into it with a staff of over 12 people that are dedicated just to revenue optimization on these sites. So it's literally all we do. It gives us the unfair advantage. So what we decided to do was take some of that knowledge, some of what Matt and I do on a daily basis, and do it publicly for you guys, okay? So what we're going to do is instead of taking someone, site that we know or whatever else that's already been optimized or whatever, we just wanted to say, hey, let's take a public site that everybody wishes they had and show them still, even on a successful site, how many things are broken. And what we're going to show you, Matt and I have no doubt on this specific site that if BGS was handling their optimization, we could double or potentially triple it like within a matter of weeks. There's that much that can happen. Okay. So, and all of what we're showing you, I want you to look at it with like, okay, well, my site's not that big, but it's all principle based. Okay. It's not specific, and everything we're going to show you can totally be added and implemented in your way on your site, and it will help you as well. So we're going to be kind of fun with it. We're going to just roll through it. Matt and I are going to kind of feed off each other and dialogue back and forth. We're not awesome tech guys when it comes to this stuff, so we may have some lag as he tries to switch to his screen and I switch to my screen and things like that, but should be a good time. So also, if you're asking questions, we'll try to get them, but we're not, like, we're on laptops, we're live. We're not seeing the Facebook feed as live as you guys are. So stick with us. And then if there's anything we miss, we'll try to wrap it up in the next one. And if you like this, if you think this is valuable, post in the comments, let us know, because we're talking about maybe doing this like a weekly thing or maybe every other week or whatever, and just dive into these sites and randomly critique them for you guys. So if you like it, please let us know. All right, so let me share my screen. Let me see if I can do that here. Again, I told you guys it's going to be complicated. See, you're already having problems. I got to click this button. That one. Okay. So the site we're going to critique is Kylie Jenner's site, okay? Kylie Cosmetics. Now, we've not actually gone through this site in detail. We've only loaded the page. We've been to it several times in the past. Kylie is, I think she's still the #1 site on Shopify, right?
Yeah, she's in the top 5 for sure.
Top 5, okay. So she's kicking butt. Obviously, Kylie's 20-something years old, got a net worth of over $50-some-odd million. So she's doing a lot of things right. But on the Shopify store, she's doing a whole lot of things wrong and is still making a ton of money. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of dissect her site and show you all the different things. Now, the first thing I wanted to show you is when you load her site, and Matt and I are going to jump back and forth, but I didn't clear my cookies, so I didn't close it. But the first thing that happens when you launch the site is a pop-up comes up almost immediately before I even have a chance to see what's on the site. All right, so when it comes to a what the goal of your site is. Is the goal to get them on your list, or is your goal to get them to buy a product, right? And in actuality, we want them to buy. So these people, you're saying, now in Kylie's case, it may be slightly different because she is a celebrity and people may want to get on her list. But chances are, from a shopping perspective, this is killing her conversions, okay? Now, before we go any deeper, Matt, why don't you explain to them that about the what we're going to be examining, but then how the data backs it up, and we don't actually make these changes that we suggest until we back them up.
Yeah, so every site we make sure that the Google Analytics are working properly, and then we also use Google Tag Manager so that we know what menu item they click on the most, so that we can prioritize the items. We know what buttons they click, so that we can monitor like what text works the best. We want to know, like, if they click on this particular menu, do they convert all the way through to the sale, or do they just make it to the next page? So we literally, before we actually start making any changes, the very first thing we do is work on data collection. But basically what Tanner and I are going to talk about today on the site is just things that we know are best practices, like he said, principle-based, not like tactics.
Yeah.
So the principles don't change. And like he was talking about on that pop-up, if you look at that on a mobile view, so you got to remember that probably about anywhere from 70 to 80% of your traffic is mobile. So,
and her demographic probably even more because they're young.
Exactly. Yeah. So that big pop-up, and we can look at it on a mobile screen too, probably takes up the entire screen.
Yeah.
So it makes it even harder to exit.
Navigate.
We try to make sure that we don't interrupt them unless they're leaving the site. Otherwise, what we're doing is we're interrupting the sales process. So on that, with what he was saying with data, so what we're going to be doing is you're going to hear us sounding very factual and like, this is the thing, they need to change this. And that's how we approach a site. However, like if we were working with Kylie's site, we wouldn't just say, hey, change this button, even though we know the button needs to be changed. What we would do is we would run tests. We'd make sure the data is collecting correctly on that and say, hey, this is the top 50 things we need to change on this site, but we're going to do it based on what the data shows us so that if we know that it was a good change. Because sometimes, maybe a black button on this site does work better than a green button, which typically outperforms anything else. So when you understand that we don't have Kylie's data, but still looking at it without the data, we do this so much, we can see leaks in these sites, heavily. And so we're going to be talking very factually, but understand that no matter what we're saying, even we, with what we know, would not actually make any of these changes until we also backed it up by the data. And then we would compare our change to the previous data to see that it actually did make an improvement. You can't optimize a store based on guessing and going, oh, cool, I made more money, but I also sent more traffic. So was it the button color or the traffic? You have to be able to compartmentalize and separate all the stuff so that your data is clean, right? Okay, so let's jump in here. Okay, so we're back on Kylie's site. So again, this pop-up, let's go ahead and do that, inspect and look at it on mobile real quick. So she does have it scale, so that's good. Yeah. Normally these pop-ups don't scale down on mobile, so that's a very good thing that it's going on. So see if you can click to the side of it and if it will go away.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah.
Okay, so that is good.
Yeah.
But
we still wouldn't do it, but obviously she's minimized the damage from it because most of the time those pop-ups will take up your whole screen.
And pop-ups are known to actually reduce conversions, okay? And they reduce buyer happiness, satisfaction, the whole shebang by a huge number. Now, that's not to say we don't use pop-ups. We do, but we use them on exit intent. Now, I wasn't trying to exit. I visited her site, and I'm already getting bombarded with a pop-up, okay? So now we're going to stay away from anything that's demographic specific because obviously Matt and I are not Kylie's demographic. Neither one of us she probably has a shade that would work for each of us, but it's not really our thing.
I probably need the tan color.
Yeah, and I probably need the pale color. So we're going to stay away from things like that and focus on the core things that we see. Okay, so right now we're looking at above the fold. And Matt, you want to talk about this?
Yeah, so we literally have millions and millions of dollars in research done from outside companies and even with what we do on a daily basis. And we know for a fact that a slider always reduces conversions. Because if you think about it, what do you want the person to do, or what the homepage is designed to do is actually build trust and give you easy navigation to what you're looking for. And what this is doing is, rather than me go and navigate to something, I'm sitting here spending time on her site,
just staring at it,
browsing through her different pictures to see what she's going to show me, rather than if I came here for a lipstick or for eyeshadow or whatever, brushes. Yeah. I don't really shop for makeup, but depending on what I was coming here to look for, I'm distracted. Yeah. And so distraction is always going to cost you money, no matter what. From
that as well, and Matt says we've got millions of dollars of testing, and this is like in a shorter period of time as well as long time kind of stuff. Like these tests are continuously happening. The only time a big banner, and sliders never win, okay, ever. Occasionally a banner can win, but it's typically for a specific promo for a specific window of time, like Father's Day, Mother's Day, announcing a new product, and you want to make sure everybody sees it. But again, a huge banner that takes up your entire screen and motion is never the answer. And it has never, in any test we've ever run, it's never won.
Yeah, okay, it always loses. If you even just think about it from a distraction standpoint or a time standpoint, most of us don't have a lot of extra time. And to be honest, like we look at the stats, like a lot of people are doing their shopping during the day when they're at work, which is just the facts. So if you spend a minute or two waiting to see all these sliding images going through rather than go to what you're interested in, most likely you've eaten up half or a third of your time that you're going to go shop for something, watching her banners, and then someone's going to walk up to your desk, or you're going to get a phone call or get distracted. You leave the site with good intentions of going back, and you may not come back for a couple weeks or a month or whatever. So it's not just even from the conversion standpoint. A lot of times it has to do with how much time you have to go shopping.
Yep. So still above the fold, let's move on. We've got her navigation. Now, one thing she's done really well is she's minimized her header. Most stores have real fat headers with lots of padding and big logos, which kills your space. But she's minimized her header very nicely. A couple downsides, and Matt can then talk even further on it. Number one is where it says account, right? Nobody really logs into stores, and if they do, they can go to the footer and click the login button or access account, things like that. We always take that off because it's one more distraction that doesn't need to be there. There's a phrase that we use. It's called hierarchy of focus, right? And there's also a paradox of choice. There's these two different things, both apply to the homepage. Hierarchy of focus is where do we want them to look? Okay, what do we want them to do? Okay, the action we want them to take. Paradox of choice is if there's too many things to click on or too many things to do, they wind up not doing anything. Okay, it's just like we use the ice cream example, right? You go get chocolate or vanilla, you can make a decision. But if you go to Baskin-Robbins and they've got 31 flavors, it takes you 45 minutes to make a decision because you have too many options, right? So we're trying to eliminate this. Another piece is Kylie has quite a few products and she's not emphasizing her search. And we've got some data that says that search is basically your most valuable customer.
Yeah, they are by far your most valuable customer. So
by almost a 5-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, sometimes more. So we actually have multiple sites. We always make search more prominent if you have more than 4 products, because the people that search are your most valuable customers. Like one that we have that does a couple $1 million a month worth of revenue. They have about 6% of their customers use their search, and that's even with it being very prominent. But those 6% of customers generate 30% of their revenue, almost 32% of their revenue. So if you look at the conversion rate, their average conversion is right around 3.8, I think. And then the people that use search, it's over 12%. Yeah. And also, the people that don't use it are worth about $1.68 per visit, and the ones that use it are worth over $12. So
it's huge,
massive amount.
If you have products search is big, right? So guys, what we're talking about here, like what we're doing, this is our standard critique. Okay, And, you know, it might be a little more formal if we're doing it for one of our clients, or we'll be taking notes on it or whatever. But we do these live critiques for our customers and for our members every other week in our eCom Insider program. Okay. So this is what we do for our members. We go in and actually critique their sites and help them dial them in, and they make changes. They come back, we critique them again. And also, just to give you guys a heads up, everything we're telling you what is wrong here, Matt and I are hosting a big event called Build, Grow, Scale Live on July 23rd and 24th here in Reno. It's basically what Inc. and Entrepreneur Magazine call the can't miss ecom event of the year. But we're going to be showing you and teaching you in live sessions exactly how to fix all this stuff and what you should replace it with and everything else. So right now we're talking about all the negative stuff or all the things that need to be changed. At the event and in our eCom Insider program, we actually show you exactly what to change and how to change it, and then how to back that up with your own data to make sure that it's the right improvement for you. So if you want to check out the Build, Grow, Scale event, we'd love to have you there. It's buildgrowscalelive.com. Christina will post that link in the chat for you guys. And then also the eCom Insider link if you want to check that out. But anyway, we'll keep going with the critique now. I want to talk about navigation.
Yeah, I would just say go back to, like you said, being easy to find. So if they had search right here, if you came here to look for a particular item, it would be, you'd literally have to run through the menu and check all those things. If you just do it and see how many options are in almost every one of these drop downs, you'll realize that like the paradox of choice definitely happens here, because do you know if you're supposed to click on a collection or are you supposed to click on a bundle set? What does accessories really mean? You'd have to click to actually know. The best sellers is a good idea, but back in stock, I don't think that would be.
And this is something that we would do a Google Tag Manager on. We'd test it. We'd see how many people are actually clicking it. And then if we eliminate it, what happens after we eliminate it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Typically what we found though, right, is the more we minimize the navigation,
always does better.
The store does better.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to remember, and it sounds like it's a nerdy term, but cognitive load. And because we're so used to, when we come to the internet, we don't want to read, we want to just browse. So there's nothing here that stands out to what to click. If you look at the black and the white, it's actually hard to read. For people don't realize it, but white on black is hard to read. Mm-hmm. So the menu itself has a lot of items in it, and then the coloring of it is not the easiest. So really, literally, she has a whole bunch of stuff that's hard.
We haven't even gotten below the fold yet. So now let's go ahead and scroll down below the fold, and let's just take a quick scroll through so you guys can see what we see. So there's top sellers. It just goes on and on and on. And then way down here, then they have her category page or category icons. And then don't miss this.
Yeah. So personally, I would say a good test for this site would be those main categories: eyes, lips, face. It would be super easy for people to say, oh, okay, I came here for stuff for my eyes, click on the eyes one and go to those products. So this right here would literally be a much easier way to navigate the site.
This could be your above the fold. These three images could be your above the fold images, getting rid of the banners.
Yes. And I would certainly test that right off the bat.
Probably the first test, right?
Yeah, because literally you have to remember each page on your site has a specific focus. And the only focus of your homepage is to build trust and to give people easy navigation to what they're looking for. So this would be very simple. Either I'm looking for makeup for my eyes, for my lips, or my face. And if I want all, it would be super easy to come back here after I purchase the lipstick and go, okay, and I wanted that one eye thing. But if you scroll through all of this, what they're trying to show you,
too much. It's distracting.
Yeah. It's basically like a garage sale. Yeah. You know, you have to rummage through all the different items to find what you're looking for, and it's very difficult. And again, it eats up your time.
Yeah, and you know, the best sellers, maybe we don't know what her exact best sellers are because we're not looking at the data. But if you just look at based off what the page says, you've got back in stock products, which are right there. Then you got new products, right? But then way down here, you got to keep going. There you have your top sellers. Okay. These are based on top level data, right? That what we can observe. If someone says it's a top seller, that's either the product that has the highest margin that they want to sell the most of, or it's a product that actually is selling the most of, right? Because you can configure these things. This should be up top. This should be right below those category things. So the products that put your best foot forward, that either sell the most, get you the most customers, or make you the most money, should be seen right after those category pages before all the back-end stocks, the new things like that. Because again, if you think about it from a customer standpoint or a browser or a shopper, people who are looking for new products or back-end stock products, these are returning customers or returning visitors, right? These people have been here multiple times. They're willing, or are either they're already familiar with the site or they're willing to look a little further. It's those new visitors. We're trying to capture that new customer that we need to appeal to with the homepage, right?
Yeah, once they're a customer, we have data on them, then we can send them to collections based off of what they bought previously.
But these two most things are the top sellers, and all these categories should not be at the bottom ever. And then, in Kylie's case, because she is a celebrity, maybe people do want to get updates from her and get on her fan club type list, even though it's about Kylie Cosmetics. But typically this isn't the best way to do it. There's, either a coupon type thing, or there's different ways to do this that actually will make this work really, really well. Okay.
Again, we show that in our group.
And actually we give our members, our eCom Insider members, will actually give you all of our scripts and code that allow you to implement all the stuff we use, like our on-page coupon delivery, which they enter their email address and it delivers the coupon immediately on the page without any redirect. We give all of that stuff, including our apps and all that, to our members as well. But let's go ahead and go. So we've done the homepage. This is the top level one. But again, you're not sending traffic here, right?
No.
This is more top level. But we do send traffic to some of these. So what product you want to go look at?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter?
No.
Let's do this Kyliner.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go the next page deep. Now, when Matt and I actually do a traditional critique for one of our clients, we actually start in reverse order, right? We start at the checkout and optimize working our way out. So when we do any actual optimizations, we work from the money pages out. When we actually do a site critique or a site audit, we work the same way the customer views it, okay? So when we actually, if we had like a 20 or 30 page optimization report, which we would have for Kylie's thing, we would do the optimization report, but we would still start all the optimizations with the closest to the money, because that makes the biggest impact to revenue right away. And that's all we do.
And plus, if you fix the homepage and then the category page to get more people to your cart,
but your cart's broken,
and your cart and your checkout are broken, all that work and those customers, there was no benefit to it. So that time you spent doing that, you still lost. Where if you go to the checkout and the cart first, you fix those, then everything else that you do on the store puts people through the process much easier, and they're more likely to come back and buy from you again.
And everything we do is focused around revenue optimization, not conversion rate optimization. Matt, tell them why conversion rate is such a bad metric.
Well, that is just only one of the metrics that matters. I mean, honestly.
But it's easy to spoof, right?
Yeah, we could increase your conversion rate. All we'd have to do is just lower your price on everything, and that doesn't really do you any good.
So we do want a high conversion rate, but we want it due to principles that actually increase the revenue, and as a byproduct also increase the conversion rate, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's just it's basically a tool to use to see if your site's functioning well. It shouldn't be the end goal.
Okay, so the first thing was I thought I was clicking on a product, but the product actually is multiple variations, but they're split up into individual products.
Yeah, there's a category.
So but on the homepage, I was clicking on a product, not a category.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm expecting to go to a product page, and instead I'd wound up on another category page. So this is something else that would need to be tested to see, because the idea, tested to see if it works or it doesn't work, because there's a thing called click debt, okay? And in a typical store, you want them to be able to get from wherever they are to an order within 3 clicks, okay? Every click beyond that reduces your conversion, reduces your AOV, reduces everything, right? So this to me is an unnecessary step. Now, of course, we would use data to back it up to find out if it really is, but in most cases, it would be an unnecessary step that increases the click debt, which is not good. And if you look at these products, it's the same exact product. It's just bronze, brown, or black.
And yeah, and it It's not very easy to tell the difference between them. They don't make it stand
they have
out.
the little thingy at the bottom.
Yeah. But the other thing that I noticed about this page, so say even if you were trying to come to a category page, there's another thing that we say is serve up the proper information at the right time on the site. At this point, I went from the home page to here. I don't know any details about this eyeliner.
So I'm not ready to add it to
What
cart.
products
right?
are in it, what the actual
yeah.
shade is, how much, what the size of the, it doesn't even say
How
what
long
the
does it
size.
last, or whatever
Yeah.
you need to know for this kind of
Any of the product
eyeliner.
description,
Yeah.
and they're already asking me to add it to my cart, where at this point I should be able to click and then go to the product page, not put it into my cart.
So what he's saying here is it would be something better would be like a learn more or a find out more or a
It would take
something
me
like
to the
that.
product page.
Yep.
But
view product even,
Yeah.
something like that.
yeah.
So
the,
you
the
don't-
other thing that I notice is everything's black. So if you think about it, again, every single page has a action that you want it to take. Well, at this point, you're not necessarily going to ask them to add it to the cart because you're asking for more of a commitment than the information that you've provided so far. So it should be, like he said, learn more, see more,
View product.
view
whatever.
product, but also these 5 stars being black and the same color as a cart, they don't stand out and they don't look real. Like it doesn't feel like an actual review.
No.
It doesn't say how many people have reviewed it. So what's the point of the stars? All it's doing is it's making me look at them and think about them instead of what the next action is that I want this page to be, which should be go find more information so I can make a decision.
Correct. And one of the, in our eCom Insider program, and actually and at the event, and just basically how we teach, everything comes back to this buyer's journey, right? Your customer and your browser they each have their own specific multi-step journey they go through every time they come through your site. Okay. And then there's another journey as they continue on and in the life cycle of them being a customer of yours or a prospect or whatever else. And every step of that process has to be streamlined and optimized because every bit of friction in there creates basically an excuse for them to leave or just leak, right? We call them leaks. So if you think about it, say you have this big pipe, right, running and it's full of water. Every point of friction, water is leaking out of your pipes. And in our case, the water is the money. So when you finally get to the end of the pipe where the water is supposed to come out and fill your bank account, it's a trickle. Okay. Or in this case, maybe it's not a trickle. Maybe it's like a freaking glacier,
I take
like
a trickle.
melting all at once. Right. But it could be all the water in the world dumping into our bank account all at once, but it's still broken. Right. So we want to patch all those leaks and reduce the friction points along the buyer's journey. And we touch on that and we teach each step of that in our eCom Insider program. And that's why our members are getting, Matt's going to show you some conversion rates and some, statistics over just today's numbers from our members because they're able to, leverage this. So anyways.
Just one more thing I wanted to point out that I noticed based on that information of serving people the proper information at the right time. The domestic orders and international orders up above, that could be, the free shipping is good. That's a good call to action. But if I'm in the U.S., I don't want to know,
I don't want to have
to read about international orders. And that can be solved very simply with just a script that you put on the site. So you could serve international people that, listen, free shipping over $60, or you could serve the U.S. market and say free shipping for orders over $40 and not make people read all that information in order to figure out what savings they're going to get.
Matt calls this not making business problems your customers' problems, right? The reason that they have free shipping with different prices depending on where it is because there's a business problem. The business problem is that it costs more money to ship internationally. So they want to make international people spend more to justify the free shipping, right? But that's your problem as the business owner, or in this case, Kylie's problem, not me or Matt trying to buy our eyeliner, right? So I think I'm going to go for the deep bronze, by the way. Yeah. I think that'll be better for me.
I have to figure out what colors might be.
But so anyway, that's what he's saying. So anytime you have a business problem that you're trying to solve on the customer level, that's wrong. Don't make your business problems your customers' problems. Okay, so now we're going to click into the product page. We finally got to the product page. Now we're 2 clicks in.
Yep.
Right? Where we should only be 1 click in. And the biggest problem here is going to be hierarchy of focus, right?
100%.
So why don't you go ahead and jump in on that?
Again, you want to, each page should have what you want the next action to be stand out more than anything else. So if you look at this page, it's all white and black, which is okay for the page itself, but the next action that you want them to take when they come to this page should be a totally different color so that like that pops out at you more than anything else. And if you look, literally everything on the page is black. If you scroll up a little bit, Zoom kind of changes this. If I'm looking at my screen on my laptop, literally you have all those black buttons.
Everything's black. And it's just, and her whole, I get it, her edgy style, that's her, right? Yeah. But from a conversion standpoint, my eye is drawn to too many different things, like, because the thing that stands out is black on the page, right? Yeah. So if you close your eyes and then you open your eyes and you look at the page, watch how your eye bounces from like the add to cart button to the top banner to the product to the thumbnails and then back. It just can't sit still.
And if you look right here, like literally there's 3 more down here plus that one. So
yeah, if I zoom out a little,
minimize it a little more.
Yeah, so if you have all of this on your screen.
Which is literally what actually shows on my laptop. So the Zoom is affecting it, but you have all of those black buttons. And again, they're asking you to add stuff to the cart without you having any product detail whatsoever. So
now see this right here, this whole complete your look with these products is actually a great thing. We actually built the app that does this, okay? So this is something that we also created because most people try to get the upsell or the add to cart or additional products in the cart or somewhere else where it actually reduces conversions. We've tested it and found out that this is the place to do it. So we actually built this. Like this is the way, this is using an app that we built to do this, right? So we give this to our members so they don't have to custom code or learn how to do any of this stuff. But this right here increases AOV by roughly, 20 to 30% on average when you dial in the right product collection. So the thing would be here is someone who buys this eyeliner or this black Kyliner, is it that they also buy the shader brush or the Ultra Glow, whatever products are most commonly purchased with that are the ones you want to offer. And it looks to me like this might be random. And might not be that dialed in, but if it is, then cool. But what you do to figure that out is you do a basket analysis. Okay, and a basket analysis is like a data-heavy research piece where you figure out what your customers buy when people who buy this also buy this, this, and this. And then you can figure out your combinations and really dial in this page. But the biggest thing hurting this above the fold is the fact that her add to carts and her buttons, which is all we want her to do is click the button, right?
Right. Yep, you want them to add it to the cart.
So at this point, it needs to be a vibrant color. Even in her case, a red or whatever. Red's not so awesome though, because red is a negative color. But green is by far usually the winner. But something, even if she went with a gray button here or something, just to give some contrast.
So the color of the button is really not important.
Mm-hmm. Although we do test that.
Yeah, we do that. But what matters the most is that it stands out from everything else on the
right page. Now they don't know what you want them to do.
Right.
It's not being called out to them.
Yeah. I don't know how long we're gonna be on today.
Just a few more minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to keep this too long. I know people are probably enjoying this, but we
could spend another 35 minutes just on the product.
Just on the product page with all the things that we could dial in here.
Maybe we could next week.
Yeah, we could keep going on this. We could, if you guys would like to see a part 2 of this one where we go even further, we could do that. A couple other things, reviews, right? There's 4 reviews in this product. No mention of the reviews above the fold.
Yeah.
Right? Which is awful. Okay. The other thing is again, the reviews are black. Okay. The reviews need to look like Amazon reviews, right?
There's a certain amount of trust there that you automatically get by doing that.
They can be down here as well, but there should be an icon right up there at the top by the product name that talks about this.
Especially for this type of product, because for sure we notice every single time that women want to know what other women thought of the product. Does it work well? Is it just good marketing, or does it actually do what it says it's going to do? And that's where the reviews are that extra social proof that nudge people over and make them purchase.
Yeah. So guys, with this, I want to just reiterate the fact that, number one, everything we're saying here, we would first dive into the data and then make sure everything's tagged correctly so that we can prove that what we're going to test. But these are all the things that we know we would do immediately as tests to see what we can improve.
Yeah. Once you test it, then you can know if it's right or wrong.
And the other piece is this store we've pointed out, I don't know, probably 40 or 50 things so far. This store is still crushing it. Yeah. Now, a lot of that has to do with the fact that she's Kylie Jenner, right? He's not Kylie. I'm not Kylie. We're not even internet famous, right? But she's like real famous. So that helps her brand significantly. So even with all these pieces broken, her store still does well. And a lot of stores are in this same boat. I would bet that almost every one of you on here, over half the things we talked about probably apply to your store as well. So the point here is that we're not knocking the store. This is a great store. Matt and I would love to work on this store because we know we could do some amazing things and it'd be killer, right? We could just blow this store up. I mean, it's already huge, but we could make it even bigger. And the thing is, though, in your case, don't look at it as like, man, my store is so messed up. Look at it as, holy cow, these are simple changes that Matt and Tanner have shown you today. If I just make a couple of these changes, I'm going to see a huge difference, right?
Yeah, they're all opportunities to capture more customers.
And all these changes are getting us closer to the money page, which, I think next week we do another one and we finish Kylie's site.
Yeah.
Because we're already almost 40 minutes on here. We don't want to keep everybody. So we're going to wrap this up. We'll start off on the product page again next week. We'll finish Kylie's site. We'll go product page, cart, and checkout, and we'll continue the critique on it and everything else. Also, guys, if you like this, please throw a comment below and let us know what you think about this. Would you like to see more of these? And again, if you really liked this and you want to have us help you, or you want to learn more, or have this kind of, maybe have Matt and I even critique your site, then I highly recommend you check out our eCom Insider program. Again, Christina will post the links in the comments below. And also, if you're available, July 23rd and 24th, we are hosting an eCom event called Build, Grow, Scale Live, which is all about this revenue optimization system that Matt and I use. In fact, we're even going to be giving you one of our scripts that helps optimize your money pages, helping you install it during session 1 of day 1, and holding a contest, right?
Yeah.
We're going to basically help you install this script that will optimize your pages, and then we're going to have a contest to see who makes the most money by the end of day 1, right? So you'll make money simply by showing up to that event, and we'll be showing you all the fixes, the actual ways that we do all of these things, including all of our sites. Yeah. You want to show them a couple of those screenshots real quick?
Yeah.
Let me stop share real quick. So Matt's going to share his screen.
I don't know how I can.
You got to go to Zoom down here at the bottom. Oh, there. And then,
there we go.
Cool. So what Matt's going to show, we pulled a few screenshots from some of our stores today that we work with. And this is all just today. So go ahead, Matt, talk about this.
Well, this particular one, you can see this is our conversion rate today, 6.92%. It's only up 7%, which really isn't drastic. This one literally hovers around.
Over yesterday. So it's up 7% over yesterday.
Yeah, but it hovers right in this 6.97% range day to day. And like you can see, it's just afternoon. We took this before we jumped on.
It was about 11:30 when we took this screenshot.
Yeah, so it's already got $30,000 in revenue today, 680 orders. But you can just see the conversion rate is really why we took a picture of this, because they hover around that 6-7%. We know that.
And we're not discounting their AOV. Everything on this site is optimized and continuing to be optimized to increase revenue.
Yeah.
And even if we increase revenue, but it hurts the conversion rate a little bit, we're okay with that, because our
end goal is net revenue.
Money in your pocket.
Yeah, it's net revenue. So for sure, this is industry average is around 2%. So you can see that with these type of fixes that we do, you can be as much as 3-4% or 4 times what the
we got like
averages.
Frank Giovanni, right? He's running an old store, testing an old product that he hadn't sold in years. He's got, after optimizing his store through the last couple jam sessions, he's now at, I think he said, was it 18% conversions. Now, obviously that's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
But
it's a good product.
It's a good product and it's a good store. But, we have other members that are, they cry when their conversion drops to 8%.
So here's another store that we pulled the screenshot, same thing. They only have 4% more revenue.
Or it's traffic.
Or 4% more traffic, but 50% more revenue. And if you look, their store, again, 7%, 30% up. So this one normally converts around 5%. But if you look at the three metrics down here, you can see that we have a marginal add to cart. So we did not increase anything on the product page. Their reach checkout is a little bit better, but then the big difference is right here on that money page that we're talking about. They have a 30% increase.
And that's what the script we're talking about that we're giving you at the event helps you do. And we'll cover more of that next week, right?
Yeah. So just a minor change on that script gave them a 30% boost in their online conversion. So literally with only 4% more traffic, they've 50% more revenue because of this change down here.
Absolutely. So what's the next one?
That's it.
Oh, you just pulled two of them? Okay,
cool.
So stop your share. Awesome, guys. So again, that's not a bragging thing. These honestly not pulled to some of the smaller stores because we always see screenshots and it gets really ridiculous when like we could show you screenshots of like $400,000 or $500,000 in a couple days. But then people are like, oh, they missed the point. They fixate on that and they go, oh, I could never do that. Or they go, oh, that's bullshit or it's whatever. And they miss the other pieces that we're talking about. The important thing is everything we've shown you here, it doesn't matter if your store is brand new or your store is Kylie Jenner's store. It applies to all of them. Revenue optimization, what Build, Grow, Scale has pioneered with this revenue optimization system is principle-based, and we run it across all niches, all industries, all product categories, and all platforms even. It's not just Shopify.
Yeah, and it's not a tactic that
it doesn't
is
dry
working
up
right now on Facebook, and then all of a sudden they change the algorithm, doesn't work anymore. That's one good thing that we found is that literally if the store converts well, you don't have near as much of a fluctuation in your traffic, and you can buy traffic from multiple sources rather than just Facebook. So your store doesn't feel the ups and downs near as much as
everybody
a typical store owner would have.
Absolutely. So guys, if you enjoyed this again, please let us know below. This was our first time doing this publicly. And normally, we do this privately for our eCom Insider members, and we thought it'd be kind of fun to do a public critique on a very public store. And so if you enjoyed it, please let us know. And if you'd like to see another one, maybe next week where we finish this Kylie Jenner one, which I think would be fun, but I want to know you guys want it, because if you guys don't like it, then we don't need to do it, right? So anyway.
You should be seeing a big Build, Grow, Scale logo on the screen right now. And if you don't know, Build, Grow, Scale is the company that Matt and I own, and it's the company that's responsible for all this crazy e-commerce awesomeness. So people are saying, hey, I love this. I want to get my store critiques just like this. How can I work with you guys? Or basically, how can I get you guys to rip apart my store so that I know what to improve, right? You're probably thinking that exact thing. Now, after talking about it with our team, we figured out something pretty cool, because we've done a few of these public critiques already, and we've had people ask, and we had to figure out a solution, because we didn't have one. Now we do. So let me show you what it is. Now, we actually call a formal critique a store audit, which is when we take a page-by-page deep dive look at all aspects of your store to figure out the good, the bad, and the ugly, much like you saw us do on this public critique, right? Now, the only difference would be that we would do yours in private so that you don't have to share your store with the world. And now we've decided to make some time available in our team's schedule to do private Shopify store audits for you. So here's the details. First thing to understand is that this is not a normal service offered by Build, Grow, Scale. We usually only do this kind of stuff for our clients and our eCom Insider members, so it's not something we have ever offered publicly. But we've decided to open up 25 Shopify store audits to the public to see how this goes, and then if it goes well, we will possibly turn this into a regular thing. Now, if the link below in the description is still working, then there are still audits available. But if the link's down, well, then we've pulled the offer. For now, though, there are 25 audits available where we will do a full deep dive audit on your store with you live on a call, where you will get to interact with one of our revenue optimization experts personally to go over your store in detail. The next thing to understand is that this is by application only. Now, don't freak out. It's not some crazy thing. It's just some basic questions telling us about your store and business, so that we know for a fact that if we do a store audit for you, that it would be of benefit to you, meaning that we will only do the audit if we know that it will help you. Now, we do that because there are some stores out there that we can't help. Not many of them, but they are there. And if we aren't a right fit for you, we'll tell you that right up front and not waste any of your time. So again, this is for 25 stores, and we are going to ask that you apply to be considered for one of the audits. Now, after applying, if your store is accepted and we agree to do an audit for you, the cost to you would be $100. Nothing crazy, especially when you consider that our clients pay us a percentage of their gross revenue every single month. So this $100, it's a drop in the bucket compared to that. And all we are trying to do here is cover a portion of our revenue optimization experts' time while they do the deep dive audit on your store with you. Now, that's all there is to it. If you'd like us to do a private store audit with you to help you optimize your store and you're okay with the $100 cost of the audit, then please click the link in the description or the link right here on the screen to apply. Either link will take you straight to the application for the Shopify store audit. Once you fill out your application, our team will review the application and then reach out to you with either a yes, we can help you, or no, we can't. If we can help you, which in 99% of the cases we can, and you agree to pay the $100 fee for the audit, you'll be able to then schedule a live video store audit call with our team. And then we'll dive in and we'll help you get your store rocking. So click the link here on the screen or the link down in the description below and fill out your application now.
With that, guys, we will see you later. I really enjoyed this, and I hope you had a great time with us. All right? So
See you next week.
See ya.